Hey guys, I'm Anushka Shukla and welcome back to my channel. So according to the author Cal Newport, deep work is defined as professional activities performed in a state of distraction-free concentration that push your cognitive capabilities to the limit. These efforts create new value, improve your skill and are hard to replicate. So basically what this means is deep work is a state where you're working on a specific task for an uninterrupted long period of time, where you're not constantly distracted by your phone's notifications, email pop-ups or meetings or any other thing that doesn't let you focus. And you must be thinking, why do I need deep work? Well then you, my friend, are at the right place and are asking the right question. In this video, I'll be explaining how focus and deep work can change your life. Have you ever had this feeling where you feel like you are not doing enough or you're not working hard enough and your days just go by and at the end of the day you feel like you didn't do anything meaningful or had a productive day? Even though you might have attended few college classes or work meetings and finished up that assignment or presentation, but you didn't really feel like you did your best. Chances are that while you were doing that assignment or presentation or attending those classes or meetings, you were distracted and performing shallow work. Well again, shallow work is defined as non-cognitively demanding, logistical type tasks often performed while distracted. These efforts tend to not create much new value in the world and are easy to replicate. So if you're performing any task while constantly multitasking or being distracted by your phone, you're massively turning down the value of your work and diminishing your cognitive performance. Did you know that it takes 23 minutes to refocus after a distraction? So that quick peek into your inbox you thought didn't do any harm is actually taking away more than you can think of. And if you're constantly multitasking, that is juggling between two or more or many tasks, then a research paper by Sophie Leroy, a business professor at University of Minnesota, in her 2009 paper titled "Why is it so hard for me to do my work?" suggested about attention residue. After performing a number of experiments on different groups of people, she concluded that people need to stop thinking about one task in order to fully transition their attention and perform well on another. And the results indicated that it is difficult for people to transition their attention away from an unfinished task and their subsequent task performance suffers. So the problem this research identifies is that when you switch from task A to task B, your attention doesn't immediately follow. It is still stuck thinking about that unfinished task. So how can focus improve your life? What I mean by focus is that creating time in your day where you're working on a specific task for an uninterrupted long period of time. And what does long period look like? 2 to 3 hours. When you're not juggling between 2 or more tasks and trying to fit in a lot of things in one day, you're doing more than you think by doing just one task at a time. And doing it for a long time without your phone, without your emails, without your meetings or anything. Just allot that 2 to 3 hours in your day where you're working on a task that is meaningful and that is important and that you think will take you to the next level. As we all know, only 20% of our tasks produce 80% of the result. So you must be thinking, well, how do I make this uninterrupted time possible? Well, by making yourself unavailable. If you're working, then in the early hours of your day where you think there are no meetings, schedule that time. Schedule that time where you will be working on one task and block it into your calendar. Keep your phone away in that time, into another room if that's possible, and put off all your notifications and just put your desktop into focus mode. There are options available these days on new apps and different kind of features on Mac OS and as well as on Windows. So in that time, you're telling yourself, I am just gonna work on this one task and on just one thing, and I'm not gonna be checking my phone. I'm not gonna be checking my inbox and look for distractions. This time is just for my work and work on this single thing. So what happens during this is that you're building your focus muscle. At first, you will be tempted to check your phone and you'll be tempted to just take a look at this inbox and all of those temptations. But it's really important for you to understand at that time that that quick sneak into your inbox will kill your concentration and kill your focus. So it will be hard at first, but when you'll be done with those 2-3 hours of work, like deep concentrated work, and then you will really feel the satisfaction that you actually finished or at least worked on it for 2 hours or 2 to 3 hours straight. And that kind of feeling, the state of flow that you will allow yourself to get into, is really, really satisfying. So why am I emphasizing so much on this style of working? Well, it's because deep work lets you quickly learn hard things. We all know that to be on top of our game and be masters in our field, we need to constantly keep learning new things. And not just any new things, but the hard new things. And we need to develop the skill of being able to learn and master any new technology or any new thing that comes in our field, and we need to constantly expand our horizons. To do this, we need deep work and deliberate practice. In the book, The Talent Code by Daniel Coyle, he surveys that neuroscientists have been exploring the physical mechanism behind people's drive on improving on hard tasks, and they increasingly believe that the answer includes myelin. Well, to understand this point, we need to keep in mind that every skill, be it intellectual or physical, it boils down to neurons and circuits inside our brain. So when we're performing any skill or doing any task, there are certain neurons that are firing, and the order they're firing in gets associated with that skill. Now, by intensely focusing on that skill, and when you're working with your full concentration on that skill, you're continuously triggering and firing those neurons again and again and again in isolation. Like only those neurons are getting fired that are associated with that skill. This repetitive use of circuits triggers cells called oligodendrocytes to start wrapping layers of myelin around those neurons and start cementing that skill. And you must be thinking, well, what is myelin? Well, myelin is a layer of fatty tissue that grows around neurons, acting like an insulator that allows the cells to fire faster and cleaner. Let me explain this with an example. When we first went from our home to work, we were making 1,000 decisions, like which route should I take, which street will be less crowded, or which road will have less traffic, and which is the shortest distance to my work, and how can I reach it earlier. All of those decisions. But after a few days, we became familiar with it. Like it became automatic to us. Okay, now this is the route that I need to take. This is the place I need to turn to, and this is where there will be less crowd. All of this, it became automatic to us. And it's the same way in our brain. Like first time when we are doing a thing, it's very hard. Like our neurons are firing, they're trying to make a path, and then they're trying to make connections. And as soon as we start doing it more often and every single day, that circuit becomes stronger because of myelin. The reason, therefore, it is so important for us to focus on one task at hand and fire those specific neurons associated with that skill is so that we trigger useful myelination. We isolate only the neurons that has to be associated with the skill. On the other hand, if you're trying to learn a complex thing or trying to do a difficult task while being distracted, you're firing too many neurons together. And that will not lead to myelination, or that will not cement that skill. So basically, to develop new skills quickly, we need to focus and work deeply. If you got any value from this video, then please hit the like button, and thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in the content I create, then please hit the subscribe button and stick around. Until next video, bye bye.